So basically, I guess what we're discussing here is the crazy people on the internet. It seems like, to me anyways, it seems like there's more and more crazy people and they're getting bolder and bolder on the internet. So like you just recently had that incident with somebody on Origin on Sims.
Yeah, with really crazy, insane people. Yeah, because the thing is, one of the things I like to do is I like sandboxing. And while a lot of people dismiss Sims as being a sandbox game, they're actually wrong, particularly the new one, because I am addicted to building. But one of the things that I've noticed, I got a couple, comments or whatever on my build since mine are pretty complex. And the person was actually a little crazy. It turned out to be a little crazy. Well, first they say, okay, well, I'm 15 and I'm going, oh, I've got a 15-year-old. Let me go dump him over there. So you'll have someone to talk to because I don't want to. The last thing you want to do as an adult, especially on a game, a video game or something like that, and particularly if you notice and they tell you that they happen to be a child, you do not want to really be communicating all that much with them because you really don't know what they can do or what they can say, or maybe the child, like in this case, is mentally infirmed. And when you have that as a case where a child is mentally infirmed, you're going to run into all kinds of situations and problems where they can even get your account banned. I mean, it's always one of my biggest things. It's like, I don't want to play with that person's kid. I mean, what if they say something that I didn't say or whatever? And then they go and they destroy my account or something like that. I don't want to deal with that. So normally when you meet a child or something, you really don't want to babysit these people. What you want to do is you want to kind of stay away from that. I mean, really, it's the parents' responsibility to deal with their kids and not push them onto other people. But a lot of other people don't realize that. They think, oh, it's harmless, it's just a kid, whatever. But no, the reality is kids can be just as nasty as adults, and honestly, we shouldn't have to babysit them. But besides that, there are a lot of insane, crazy, um, people on the internet. And so, it starts off, and one of the things Pendragon was just mentioning earlier, it was, oh, there's crazy people and they openly tell you that they're crazy. And so crazy people are not afraid. They'll tell you flat out that they're mental. Okay. And so, the kid starts telling me how, he lived in a different country and moved because that country had, I won't say the name, the crime rate, 10 times worse than the USA, and that dead people, people dying of cancer, including, women, dogs, animals, or whatever, about 150 of that combined were rapings that would happen every single day and murders right down from where he lived. So he moved and he went to a different country. But here's where it starts getting crazy. It's when he says that he's crazy, okay, and he's talking to my daughter, and he's saying, that he's crazy and all this other kind of stuff, like his mom or whatever. He was batshit crazy, and he actually, you know, was very open about the fact that he had a mental illness. And I said, well, in America, I don't know about, other places, but I know that, places like Europe, America, several other places, Philippines, whatever. There seems to be a great big number of doctors. One of them particularly called a psychiatrist. So I said, so if you feel you're having some sort of a nervous breakdown or some sort of issue, you need to go and get professional assistance. Now, this has happened to me on multiple games. When I met Pendragon, we were on, I believe, in a different video game by Sony Online Entertainment. And so we were playing that MMO, and we have met several crazy people. I mean, people from even Latvia that, they'll tell you, in my country, we buy each other beers, beat each other up, and then buy each other beers. Oh, that's very nice, but, in America, that's fucking assault and battery, and you'll go to prison for that shit. So, but people are from all over the world are rather interesting and entertaining. The problem is that we don't have no way of screening. Okay, people on the internet could be on house arrest. People on the internet can be completely batshit cuckoo banana crazy. They could be completely and totally insane. Okay, and so the biggest problem here is that you don't know who is who on the internet. It's totally blind. So while your children may say, "But that's my friend," well, I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to have crazy friends. You're allowed to have normal friends, not crazy ones. And while children don't understand that and cannot decipher um, people's intentions too well, the parents really do need to be more careful, more responsible, particularly with MMOs when it comes to having their children exposed to the insane. one, some other people we met. Oh, I used to play World of Warcraft, and I would, snort cocaine so I could stay up for my raids. Okay, you're fucking crazy. A lot of kind of people like that we had met. I'm not a stalker, but there they are stalking you, but they start their sentences with, "I'm not a stalker." Now that's a big flag, guys. If you are talking to somebody and they tell you that they are not a stalker, but everywhere you go on your MMO, they're fucking right there, and they tell you that they can see you, and they start their sentences with "I'm not a stalker," it's a clue for you to beep beep and run in the opposite direction like the Roadrunner, or to put them on block as soon as humanly possible. Take a screenshot of your chat, okay? Grab the screenshot for your MMO, take it out of your computer, upload it onto a ticket if your tickets allow for that, log the conversation, and turn it in, and then tell them that you want all communication blocked from that account, because they can make another character and talk to you. But some MMOs will do it where they will block all communications from account to account. Not all of them do, but some will do it. And if you do it that way, they can make a million other characters and they cannot bother you anymore. But when people are telling you that they are having to stay up only with an aid of illegal substances, that they are only, able to function because they have so many different problems that, with particular medications, you need to be very careful. And a lot of these people will also try to triangulate where you live and get your location. Some of them even go as far as being offended because you tell them that you are not going to give them your address when they ask you where you live. Other ones have this Facebook abnormality where they want everybody and their mother on Facebook. Can you talk to me? Can you talk to me? I have Facebook. I have Facebook. Add me to Facebook. Hey, does anybody else in this guild have Facebook? And it's like,
Oh
what the
my
fuck,
god, yeah, I
man?
remember the person did that.
Yes, you remember the little girl that was in the guild or whatever, and she was like, "I have Facebook, guys. Talk to me." Well, I was just looking at the new World of Warcraft expansion, okay? And there was a person in there saying 16-year-old female want to talk to people on Skype. What do you think you're going
What?
to attract? Pedophiles? Yeah, she was macking it. I don't know if it was a troll. It could have been a troll. But the reality is there are a lot of pedophiles. There are a lot of creepy freaking people. I've had people on WoW literally stand next to me naked on their character and harass me because I was fishing there and they decided to be an ass. And so a lot of these actions are not done by normal people, okay? Normal people do not get on MMOs to go get naked, to go harass and make it their goal of the day. That person is crazy. The same thing when they tell you that they're snorting drugs, they're crazy. When they tell you that in their country they beat each other up and then have beers, they're crazy. When they tell you that, they have Facebook 50 fucking times, they're crazy. If they tell you anything that sounds even remotely suspicious, like, "Oh, I have very high anxiety," they're crazy. Forget about it. If they tell you, "Oh, let me into your guild for raiding, it doesn't matter, I take medication," they're crazy. Fuck no. Even if they take medication, because I've seen people take medication that were crazy and then freaking go off, okay? And go totally crazy and disrupt an entire raiding night because they had a nervous breakdown that day. So no bullshit, see, because the medication keeps people within a certain margin of, could be normal, but around that area where you're not really still normal with meds. And so I've seen this happen a lot. And those people will go crazy. And it sounds bad to be discriminant and actually make a little group of non-crazies and not let crazy people be around you, but it seems like that is exactly what you have to do nowadays. You have to protect yourself and your family, because those crazy people are going to have a nervous breakdown at one point or another, far more frequently as well. As a normal person, might have something traumatic happen to them and they might have a nervous breakdown, and that might be once in a lifetime. Crazy people will have a nervous fucking breakdown every single other month. Okay, and so it's good, just going to continue. And a lot of people might think, "Oh, that's heartless, that's mean, you're being, discriminative or whatever, that's really terrible, you're segregating." No, you're segregating a person for their race, because they're gay, okay, and their sexual preference, because their religion, because of politics. That's ignorant, especially in America. We have enough education now to know that that is extremely ignorant. But when it comes to segregating normal people and what normal society functioning people can do, and the crazies, I don't believe personally in allowing them to mainstream. They should be on lockdown in an asylum. I don't believe in allowing insane people to walk the earth and leave them there. They should be done for. That's it. I would just lock them up and throw away the key, no questions asked. But when you are freaking crazy, even if you take medication, you're not 100% in control. You're not. So, what other crazy people did we meet? Remember, we had that one guy that was also kind of crazy, but his wife was worse, and she submitted an application to raid. And then she was like, I don't
The
like it.
lady
Okay,
with
it's like, no. The
cats.
question was, yeah, the question was, what prior experience? We don't care about your personal history. We just want to know, are you going to be a newbie raider that we have to put you in the newbie program, or are you going to be, a raider that already is seasoned, so we don't have to worry about you. You can just go right ahead as long as you meet the requirements. You have enough gear to do that raid. Okay, no problem. Let's go, and we'll take your rating. But when we don't know if you're new or not new, I'm not going to have people in a raid making fun of a new person. I'm going to give them enough time to try to get a little season a couple times raiding to get used to the flow, okay, before we start correcting them too much or being a little bit too harsh or whatever, because some gamers can be harsh with, new people or fairly impatient. But if you're new, we would like to know, right? And this is back when we did do a lot of heavy raiding on our other MMO, but still. So the question is, do you have any prior experience raiding? Just so I know where to put you. Okay, and the answer is, uh, I have, I have cats, and I don't tolerate anybody to do abuse, and I may not be able to raid all the time because of my kids, and I don't let anybody abuse any animal in my house. However, okay, my children my children abused my cats and pulled them by the tail and tried to burn them and whatever, and I mean the list went on. She spilled all of her lifelong and household and personal problems on this particular webpage. I was like, oh my fucking God. So I just like hit, I'm not even going to see that. I'm just going to decline that. I'm not even going to answer to a person like that. If they can't tell me if they've raided before or not, and they have to tell me about their children and their cats and fires and whatever, this is not a person during raid night that I want to listen to. Fuck no. So it's been happening a lot. And the other thing is too is you have um, whores. That's right, hookers on the internet. I've met a lot of them that try to amorously gain affection of some of my guy friends. Okay, and then when they get that affection, they break their heart or something like that. Just do not get on the internet and play an MMO trying to seek or find a relationship. That shit doesn't work. I've seen a guy that I knew fall in love with a 40-year-old male stripper with a sex gender pretending to be a woman for 2 years. He goes and meets her and finds out it's an it. So you can't be very, very careful, guys, on the internet, okay? The thing with crazy people is that within 5 minutes of them talking, they have told you that they're insane. A lot of them. Crazy people are not quiet anymore. They're bold, they admit it, they walk around as if they have some sort of entitlement because they're crazy and you owe them something because they're special. So they will tell you flat out, or within the first 5 times at the latest that you talk to them. Another thing is obsessive compulsive disorder. Keep an eye out for that. When they're sending you message after message after message after message after message, and it's nonstop, like fucking biblical books, okay, coming in like freaking scrolls of shit, and they don't stop, and they just keep going on about stupid crap, or the people that always have a problem and they get obsessed and they don't stop talking about that problem for like 5 hours, and you're like, oh my God, just get away from me, stop. Okay, these people are what's called socially inept. They do not have any social skills, therefore do not expect them to have any. So if they're bothering you, since they do not have the ability to socialize properly, and they show these symptoms of neurosis, you really need to run away, like as soon as humanly possible. What else did we run into during the years that we were raiding and all of that? The fucking insane, crazy, bad shit people.
We had the psycho people. We had the guys people doing the drugs. What else?
Oh, Mr.
The
Marijuana. I
Yeah,
smoke. Yeah, remember that? I smoked marijuana for 4 weeks to get rid of my throat cancer. Doctor told me to, and I'm cured. The fuck is that shit?
not to mention the people that had the bipolars and they came out saying, "Oh yeah, I'm bipolar."
Is bipolar a thing now? Like I hear so many people say, "Oh, I'm bipolar. Oh, I have a niece that's bipolar." What the fuck, man? If you know that you're fucking crazy, why do you go and have sex with a fucking person and have more crazy fucking people on the planet? You're crazy. You're batshit crazy. You have no responsibility or liability or the right to create human life knowing that you can barely on most days take care of yourself. How fucking dare you? So now crazy people are literally taking over the planet.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I was saying before, they've gotten so brazen now. It's like it's not even like where you have to figure them out, and over the course of several weeks or months or whatever, it comes out eventually. It's like the first, 5 to 5 from anywhere from 5 minutes to about an hour, they've already told you, oh yeah, I've got all these medical issues, mental issues. I mean. I don't like women because I was betrayed, or my wife left me for another man, which remember that
I
happened.
remember that guy. I remember that guy, and I ran one fucking instance with him, and he says, "I don't have much, and I know I'm bald, and I'm a single dad, but you know." And I was like, "I think this motherfucker might be hitting on me." I'm like, "Oh my
Yup.
god." And then, and this is the person I was actually teaching how to tank because he didn't know what the fuck to do. So I was teaching him how to tank properly so he wouldn't be a loser at it. And then he starts telling me he doesn't have much furnishings and that he's bald and it runs in the family. And it's just, what the fuck do I care if your fucking baldness runs in your family? I mean, really? Like, how is that any of my concern? Okay, so you described a fat, gross guy that's dumpy, right? And God only knows how overweight. And you just, described how bald and hairless you were and basically how your entire freaking family looks, right? And then you're going to try and hit on me after telling me that your wife left you and cheated on you or some shit like that and you hate women. Oh, wow. That really sounds like a great guy for me to be with. What an amazing champion. So, yeah, like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny because you meet so many different kinds of people, and then the internet is a wonderful place in that you can meet so many different people, and you don't have to be at any, specific location or anything like that. I mean, you can meet people from all over around the world, literally. But the downside to that is that you also meet quite a few crazy people on top of it. So you honestly never know who you're gonna meet, and it's kind of like a
One in
lottery.
10.
You think it's
I'm
one in
keeping
10?
my own ratio.
I think
It's
it's like
one
one
in
in
10
five.
because it's gotten, it's
Sorry, whoever's
gotten
got
more
those
aggressive.
issues. Just putting it out there.
It's gotten, stop. Oh my god, I can't breathe. You're going to kill me. One in five. Holy crap. I want to say out of every 10 people that I would meet online, at least one motherfucker was, the unfortunate mental case. I have to keep the numbers kind of fair. One in 10 is about like that. The other thing is, it's not just crazy people, but everybody in general is a lot more bold nowadays than they used to be with the help of technology and gadgets and all kinds of stuff and freedom of speech and everything else that goes with it. So it's not, freaking 1920s or whatever anymore. This is a totally different time that we actually live in, and people should learn how to, as we say, convivir con otras personas, meaning being able to live with other people, okay, and be in society and function with other people. So, one of the things that you have to realize, you have to keep in track, is that everybody's bolder now. And I think that because the time and age that we live in is probably why psychotic fucking people are a lot more bolder than what they used to be, because the reaction of people before, when you would say, so and so, my niece is crazy, we have her locked in the basement or whatever, oh, how unfortunate, never to be spoken about again. Okay? That was that. It was a big embarrassment, for people to walk around back in the day and say, yeah, we actually have fucked up genes and we have fucking crazy fucking people that run in our family. It was unspoken. It was just totally unspoken. Nobody would talk about anything like that ever. Okay? And now, that's, oh, I'm crazy. Well, he's crazy. Well, I'm bipolar, and I'm the other person's bipolar too, and everybody's fucking bipolar. What the fuck?
Yep, it's it's so weird. And it's funny because people are like, oh well, the world's crazier now. The people are crazy now. I think people have always been crazier. I think the issue here is that people are becoming more comfortable with being crazy. And I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think people should be comfortable with being crazy. I think,
Hmm.
if you have issues of any sort, whatever it may be, that you go and you seek the proper help for it. I mean, it's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. And plus, you end up being a danger to yourself and others. But that's my view on it, anyways.
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to block them. If they tell you that they're freaking crazy, block them immediately and tell them, I'm sorry. I may have patience for certain things, but I am not going to have patience for the time that you have a nervous breakdown. I'm certainly not going to be your therapist. I'm certainly not going to help you feel good about yourself because that's what health insurance is for and doctors are for. I am neither. I am not a policy agent. I am not your freaking psychiatrist. I am not your therapist. I am not any of these things that you might assume that I am, and you just tell them, I'm gonna put you on block. Do never fucking speak to me again. If more people had the reaction of crazy is actually scary, because I'm sorry, I hate to break the freaking news to you guys, crazy is dangerous, scary, and unacceptable. So, it's like if somebody tells you that they are crazy, you need to run because you do not know the possibility of their craziness, the extent, and what they can do to you. You don't tell a crazy person where you live. You don't tell a crazy person your entire name, your age, your social security number, your driver license number, and invite them to your home. You do not do that. You don't know if they're wanted for murder. You don't know if they're currently in trial. You don't know if they've killed someone before and just no one's even found out.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
let's say they're in another freaking country. Yeah, they could be in another country where the government's corrupt. I can think of many places, such as South Africa at the moment, where you can sit there and you can just be totally corrupt and the police won't freaking help you and people kill people left and right, and you do all this other kind of stuff and you realize it. You're like, do I really want to tell that motherfucker where I live? Do I really want to go there? I mean, those people have no order. So, do you want to be like that? Like, it's just, do you really want to put your children, your infants in
Do you want to
danger
take
or
that
anything
risk?
like that? Not acceptable. I'm sorry. Do you want to take that risk? Exactly. And then they'll never leave you alone because once you show a bit of kindness to a crazy person, they never let you go. And you'll be dealing with them until they make you snap and you block them. So I think the reaction shouldn't be crazy is cool. I think the reaction should be crazy is horrible and run the other direction.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, it does sound bad, but I mean, there's so many issues in the world to deal with right now, and to have to deal with crazy people that are comfortable with that, and you see it on the news all the time, people doing crazy shit, trying to get into people's homes through the chimney, or the countless stabbings and shit that goes on, and all the other crazy stuff that goes on in the world. We shouldn't be comfortable and okay with people being crazy. If we see somebody like that, we should be like, listen, you need help, you need medication, or if you happen to know a good psychiatrist, then feel free to give that information to the person. But I mean, it's getting bad. I think it's getting kind of bad, and I think I think as a society, it falls onto us to actually do something about it and say, listen, get some help, get some medication. That's not a bad thing to get help from a psychiatrist or whatever. It doesn't make you a lesser person. It makes you safer for everyone all around you. Like I said before, you don't become a danger to yourself or to other people. And who knows, we've seen people like that. There was a person on the former MMO we were on that, he was taking some medication, and then the second he stopped, he kind of lost his shit and he became a bit of a crazy person.
Exactly. And wasn't he the guy that said that you booted him from the guild, but yet he took all his tunes out and left? And everyone saw him leaving and pulling out the tunes. Like, what?
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like he started going off and acting all crazy, and then everyone's like, "What the fuck is happening? What's he talking about?" And I'm like, "I have no fucking idea. I have no idea what's going on right now." And we were,
No, because they'll have some hair up their ass or something, and you're expected to figure out where the hair is and why it's there to begin with and what the problem is. It's like you can't. You can't figure out when crazy people have a hair up their freaking penis. You can't because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like they just go insane and they might appear normal when you first meet them, but that's because they were in a good mood at the time. That's it. After that, it will come out. Or if you tell them
The crazy
something and they
comes
don't like
out.
your opinion, because yeah, that's another thing. Crazy fucking people can't take an opinion. They're the only ones entitled to have an opinion. So if you say something about something else, they go crazy. There's even fat people that are crazy. That there was that fat guy that used to rate or whatever. We made a fat people comment or something, and he went totally crazy. Well, it's not. I'm fat. It's not nice to talk about fat people. Wait, stop. Why are you eating? Like, shouldn't you be at the gym? I mean, you're fat because you want to be fat, right? Like, you are fucking overeating. Like, how is that my problem? You just fucking told everybody in the guild that you're a fat ass. That's not my issue. That's your issue. You just told everybody. Like, that's stupid. And then they get all emo and shit about it. That's just ridiculous. It's like crazy fat people. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. It was like we were totally on a different topic altogether. It was some, I think it was like some study or something that came out on the news, and we were talking about it. And then he took it as a great offense. It's like nobody even knew you were fat, dude. And even if we did, it's not like we're pointing out to you and saying, "Hey, you're fat. We're talking about you." It's like some people. There's two issues, I guess, that's going on right now. It's like there's a hypersensitivity to all subjects. A lot of people are too scared or too, sensitive to, if you say something, they think you're talking about them. You can't bring up any subjects anymore. Everything's becoming taboo, which is kind of bizarre. And the other thing is that
That's
there's too many crazy people.
mm-hmm. So there you have it. Ways to avoid crazy people. The minute that they tell you that they're freaking crazy, put them on block. Put them on ignore.
Yes.
Or tell them flat out, you do not want to hear from them. And that's it. That's a wrap. I mean, it's just do not take shit from crazy people just because they're fucking crazy doesn't mean that they're allowed to torture you.
Exactly. And I mean, and it's kind of, it touches on a subject that we have talked about before, you and me, about, how gamers don't really have rights. And I guess that could be a subject for another video, but I think that we kind of need rights as gamers because we don't really have any, and we're kind of unprotected for the most part, from people that
Yeah, we
are
are because
abusive
any
and
other
stuff.
business, think about it, any other business that takes your money and does not deliver a product would have been sued and shut down. Or the FBI would have been after them. Okay? Because they will get involved for things over 80K. So if this was any other person, they would have to answer and have all kinds of legal fees and trials and everything else going on, and a whole bunch of people doing class action suits and all that shit. Okay? But with MMOs, you sign in the EULA or the terms of service. Okay, you agree to their terms of service, which means that at any point in time they can close your account for whatever reason they deem necessary. Okay, and if they decide to yank the game, regardless of what you've invested into that game, the game is gone. Goodbye. It's over. There are no rights to the internet. No one in particular owns the internet. No one in particular owns space. So there's no police system. There's nothing. And people are just from all over the world on there. And it's just one big toxic cloud. And it's scary. It's really scary sometimes. And gamers don't really have anything for their products and their money that they expend that they're spending. So basically, it's gambling. It's like an online casino, but you're gaming. Okay, and that's basically what it boils down to with video games nowadays, and developers being scumbags. So one of the things you have to watch besides crazy people is definitely your money, but that is a topic for another day. Um, but definitely, we don't have that, and I think a lot of people rage because of it, or they feel a certain way about their video game that they've invested money into, and then they lash out and take it out on everybody else, which I think is what you were trying to say. So that's what's really difficult about all of that. And then as they become more and more bolder, everyone else does too, and then it's one big clusterfuck.
Yep. So I guess that pretty much wraps up our little rant here. Hopefully
Yes,
it was
please ignore crazy people.
yeah, hopefully it was informative to the viewers. And I guess anything else you want to add before I close the video?
No, that's it. Just go ahead and ignore them all. Don't give them any chances. Don't even speak to them. Don't waste your time into them. And watch out for horny women on the internet too, because there's a lot of crazy women that will lead you on. They'll start having, MMO relationships with like people in your guild, and then your guild will fall apart and go to shit. I've known people in our
Hmm.
guild that had their own guilds on Star Wars Guild Republic, and this was a very big problem over there. There was a lot of MMO hoochies. So don't be very careful with the MMO hoochies. I think he even had a guild called like bros before hoes or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
Fucking Mike, he was crazy, but he was fucking awesome too. He was hilarious. He was a healer, and he. I remember one day he was like drunk as hell, and he was telling people, "Fuck sticks, don't step in the AOE," and he was going off doing the radio. It was fucking funny though. It was actually funny. And he was a good guy. Pretty awesome to be around. You know, he was pretty funny, and he just didn't take shit from people, which I think was a very good quality. And I think as gamers, you really can't take shit from people. I think it's one of those things where you really can't, because once you do, then the shit keeps coming, and you know people just they don't know when to stop. So be careful, game, but beware. Gamer beware. You
Game
know, be
safely.
very careful. Yes, game safely and block whatever suspicious people you think might be insane.
Yep. So I guess until next time, take care, everybody. Say bye.
Bye.